So today on El Sancista Brujo Luis's show, we're going to be talking about this little duende. His name is Ekeko or El Ekeko. He has taken all of Latin America by storm. He's very popular in Europe and in Japan. He's become one of the most popular selling charms or talisman or amulets. But this is El Ekeko or Ekeko. So I'm going to be talking about how to prepare him, who he is, where he originated from, and how he is traditionally honored. And if you do not know who El Ekeko is, stay tuned. I'll be talking about this little duende today here on Sancista Brujo Luis.
So Ekeko is the god or the spirit, el duende of abundance. And I want to make sure that I prepare them and give them a base. So I was looking at this old terracotta plate. You can see it's pretty old. This is a small one, and I bought three, a little bit bigger, because I want to place them on one of these terracottas. There's a reason why. And you want to see that he's a smoking saint, so you want to make sure that it collects the ashes. Okay, so I bought three terracottas, remembering that Ekeko has no color. Okay, all the colors in the rainbow, think Latin America, think color and vibrant. So I'm gonna paint each of these terracotta plates, and I bought different paints at the craft store. Okay, I bought some paintbrushes, but I found these little, what do you call these, pipes. Let's see where I'm going to put these pipes, if I leave them black or if I paint them. Okay, so I bought some pipes. I bought some Joss paper money. Okay, I'm not sure. This is from it's Asian money. I'm not sure if it's Japanese or 10,000, $1.99. I don't know how many of these we get in here. But anyways, $1.99. And so I'm gonna, you always should have money, paper money. You don't have to get this kind. You can get the dollars that they sell at the children's stores. I found these hats, these little miniature hats at like Michael's or something like that. So you see that and it was really cheap, really affordable. So those are gonna go on him like this. And what else did I get? I got colored strings. Okay. Hemp kit, colored strings, because I'm going to fix these up, add more items to them, prepare them. I got candles, which I'll use later. I'll show you how to use the candle later. And I always got my emergency concentration kit, my Kit Kat. Okay, you gotta have something to concentrate when you're working. So right now I'm going to paint these guys up and see how they look. Paint them up different colors and see which Ekeko likes which plate. This will be his home, his base. Okay, Ekekos don't necessarily need a plate, but many people do have a plate to keep them on. So I'm just gonna paint them, see how they come out. So there are many stories about El Duende y el Zapatero, or the elves and the shoemaker. And people know that elves, duendes, love to make shoes. And as if you can see, these Ekekos already came with shoes. So I thought, he is from South America, Bolivia. I thought he would look better with chancletas, sandals. So I mixed this orange and white to come up with a close pigmentation, skin pigmentation. And I painted one of the Ekekos. this is what it looks like. I'm going to make sandals for him.
Now, I am definitely not Francisco Goya or Pablo Picasso, even though my hands looking at my hands, you would think that I was. But here are the terracotta plates. I gave them colors. I mixed different colors to get different shades. Remember that Latin America is all about color, all about festivities and happiness. And Ekeko enjoys all colors, okay? So let me show you. I'm going to let them dry a little bit. But let me show you the bottom, if I can. This is the bottom. I got to fix it up a little bit, but here they are. I'm going to let them dry overnight. This will be the base for the Ekeko.
Honor and respects. This is Sancista Brujo Luis. I'm doing a video today because in the early 1990s I had gone to this Puerto Rican house, an espiritista, and we were doing a sesión espiritual or something like that. I don't remember right now, but I remember after the sesión espiritual we had, and everyone had gone, she wanted to show me her altar, and in her altar she had this little figurine that at this time, this was in the early 90s, I had not seen before. So I said, "Oh, that is that. What is that? Who is this little figurine that I have never come across?" So this is what the video is about today, and he has become very popular with Puerto Rican people in the United States. Most Puerto Rican people have this little figurine in the altar. He has become very popular in Europe, especially in Spain, and in Japan. He has taken the #1 spot next to the Lucky Buddha and that cat, the Maneko Neki. I don't know his name, but he has taken the #1 spot. And I've noticed that in America, in the United States, he's not very well known. So this is what the video is about today, is about this little figurine, this little spirit, this little duende that brings upon good luck and fortune and abundance. And if you go to any Puerto Rican espiritista's house, you'll see him, or Brujo's house, you'll see him. And a lot of people in the United States know very little about who he is. So here he is. I'm going to introduce you to who this little spirit, who this little duende, this little elf is. Today we're going to be talking about El Ekeko. Okay, this is El Ekeko, and if you live near Hispanics, and not just Puerto Ricans, he's become very popular with Puerto Ricans, but he is not from Puerto Rican origin. But if you live near Hispanics, if there's a bodega, a botanica, you will often come across El Ekeko. If you live in an area where there is many Central and South Americans, and you go to a flea market, often you will see in the flea market, one of the top sellers in the flea market, especially where there's a lot of Central and South Americans, is El Ekeko. And this is this little statue. He's made out of what do you call that? Earthware, is that what you call it? The earthenware. So it's kind of like, I don't even know how to describe this material in English. But anyways, this is El Ekeko, and this is who we're going to speak about today, because he's really not well known in the United States, which I'm surprised. He is known by all Hispanics. Many Puerto Ricans carry El Equequito or El Ekeko. But outside of Hispanics, he's not well known. So this is who we're talking about today, Ekeko. El Ekeko is made with terracotta. I couldn't think of the word in English, but he's often made with terracotta. And when you buy an Ekeko or you get an Ekeko, traditionally you receive an Ekeko as a gift. Usually comes, you'll see him with little bags and little trinkets, which we're going to go into in a little bit. But I want to talk about a little bit about the history of El Ekeko or Ekeko. Okay, and this is what he looks like most of the time. Sometimes he comes with no packages and he's just bare, just like that. He always has his Andean little hat, his hand stretched out. He always has a dollar, some money. Okay, so we're going to talk right now about who El Ekeko is, more of the history. I wrote some notes down of who he is and his history. Here's the first one that I introduced you to, and I have 3 Ekekos in hand. Here's another one, and you'll notice he comes in different colors. Okay, this one, and here's the third guy. Okay, and they all come in different colors, different shades. Okay, so I'm just going to place them right there. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of history. I have some notes on who El Ekeko is or was, his origins, where does he come from, and why is he so popular with Hispanics, with Latin Americans, and he has become one of the most popular talismans or charms in Europe as well as in Japan. And I'm surprised that he's not really well known outside of the Hispanic communities in the United States. So I have some notes written down on my cell phone, and we're going to talk about a little bit about who El Ekeko is. Now, El Ekeko is the spirit of abundance, fertility, happiness, and prosperity. He is known in South America as El Brujito Boliviano or El Chaman Boliviano, and his origins are from Bolivia and Peru. His pre-Columbian name was Ekeko, Ekeko, or Tanupa, or Tunupa. In Bolivia, he was also known as Anchancho, and in Peru he was Chanchailla. Okay, so the ancient Ekeko was a trickster spirit. Okay, who governed over the Iya. Okay, Iya is a sack or a type of amulet or a talisman that would bring abundance, fertility, and luck. Pre-Christians, Iyas were made of bones, stones, animal furs, seeds, and they were placed before the ancient Ekeko as a form of sympathetic magic to attract an object that was similar to that which it represented. Iyas, or what we would know today, an iya would be similar to a charm bag. An iya was constructed with animal skins, an animal bladder, or animal hides, and were filled with objects to bring abundance, love, strength, power, fertility, and good crops. The ancient Ekeko, or Tunupa, was not only a trickster spirit, because he can be a very trickster spirit, but also a Casanova. He's known as being a Casanova, or a Don Juan type spirit, because he, ancient pre-Columbian stories and folklores tell of his romances and sexual exploits and love affairs with other spirits, spirits such as the spirits of thunder, the spirits of fire, the river spirits, the volcano spirits, the wind spirits, and the hurricane spirits. The ancient Ekeko, or Ekeko as he is known today, was often depicted nude or naked, and depicted with a phallic symbol in the center of the body, which was a symbol of fertility, as he is also a spirit of fertility and abundance. And often the Ekeko was surrounded with what pre-Columbian or pre-Christian Amerindians wished to obtain within their life. With the Spanish and the Christian influences and the misinterpretation of Native American words, the Spanish changed the word spirit to be either God, demon, or devil. But his pre-Christian concept is that of an elemental earth spirit that was similar to the Spanish duende. So he's often known as a duende in Latin America. And a duende would be similar to that of a European elf. Now, an Ekeko is a duende spirit, okay? And he is a cross between elves, dwarves, and gnomes. So a lot of people are going to be like, what's the difference between all those types of spirits? Well, gnomes are known as gnomos in Spanish, and they are earth dwellers, and they usually live underground, moving through the earth as easily as we move through the air. And by the early 20th century, gnomes had become house spirits or garden dwellers. That's why you'll often see people in their gardens having their gnomes. Dwarves are known as enanos in Spanish, and they are cave dwellers and forest dwellers, and they are known for their superb craftsmanship. Some live underground, others live in forests and mountains, and they're a little bit friendlier than their cousin, the gnomes. Yep, the gnomes, sorry. They're a little bit friendlier than their cousin, the gnomes, the dwarves, or the enanos, and they are skilled in creating and building craftsmanship. They're brutes, and often they are very warrior-like. They have like this warrior sensibility. Elves, the third class that we're talking, is in Spanish we know them as elfos or duendes. And elves are also earth dwellers and are known for their art and skills of magic and having the wisdom of those things that have to do with the magical arts. So an Ekeko is a cross breed between all three within the South American culture concept of what Ekeko is. So Ekeko, like most spirits from Latin America and the Caribbean, Ekeko has assimilated and transformed with the cultures around him. And his lores have adapted and intermingled with the concept of what forest dwellers or gnomes were from different cultures. So we have the original indigenous concept of what Ekeko was, and then it was intermingled with Spanish and European concepts of these earth spirits or forest spirits, and then later with African elements were also intermingled into what the lore of El Ekeko is today. He, like most indigenous spirits, has assimilated with the changing of times. So in 1783, Chachanilla transformed into what is the Ekeko we know today. He is now a mestizo man. In the original, of course, he was an indigenous spirit, and now he has become a mestizo man, a man of indigenous and Spanish blood. And sometimes you will see indigenous and African elements within the Ekeko. And around the 1800s, he became the typical mustached Ekeko that we know today, and became a miner of minerals who resides within caves. Although the modern Ekeko is from Bolivia and Peru, there are proofs of similar spirits honored by many, all cultures of the Mayan and Incas throughout Central and South America. Many versions of the Ekeko exist, but the talisman that we know today, or the amulet that we know today, that's taken the world by storm, is this one right here. His origins come from La Paz, from Bolivia. His feast day is January from January 19th to the 24th, and his favorite days of the week are Tuesdays and Fridays. And people on Tuesdays and Fridays work with Ekeko around 12 o'clock noon or 12 o'clock midnight. Okay, so his days are Tuesdays and Fridays. Feast day is from the 19th to the 24th. A lot of people honor him on the 24th. And again, the hour that they work with their Ekeko is usually 12 o'clock noon and 12 o'clock midnight. Ekeko is a house elf, and each person should only have one of these spirits, okay, within the house. So if you have more than one person in a house, each person should have one ekeko, and no one should touch your ekeko. No one should share your ekeko. Okay, so you can have more than one ekeko in the house, but that ekeko is for just that one person. It is believed that ekeko are very argumentative, competitive, and one single person having more than one is like having a menace for a child, and they will bring chaos and dysfunction to a person's home, as they are very argumentative and love to fight amongst each other. Ekeko should be placed in a visible area within the house where people can see him, lower than the head, okay? Just a little bit lower than the head, around the chest area or torso area, and shouldn't be touched by nobody except his own owner, okay? So keep him below you and never to be touched by anyone, and he should be in a place where it's visible by everybody, but no one should be touching the ekeko but the owner of el ekeko. Now, it is said that ekeko should not be purchased. It should be given as a gift, and is made in terracotta. Often the ekeko is terracotta, and when you receive the ekeko, some ekekos are empty. These are the terracotta material. Some ekekos are empty, and some of them come with these little packages. And you will see he often has money. He has a heart, a little car. Some have cell phones. You see he has a little house right there. I don't know if you can see that. He has his mestura to bring festivity. Often these represent things that the person wants to bring into their lives. Each ekeko comes very different colors. You can see this one's green, while this one's blue. You will find his hat is always very different in different colors. This one's more of a lighter blue. This is a darker blue. You'll find yellow ekekos. You'll find ekekos with different colored shirts, different colored pants. You will often find them with shoes or with slippers, sandals. But often he comes either bare or with a whole bunch of little trinkets around him. This ekeko is not prepared, and often when you purchase an ekeko, the person in the botanica or the person in the flea market will bless and charge the ekeko for you and place an ekeko spirit into the ekeko for you. And the ekeko is a spirit of abundance and fertility. So all these little trinkets that you see, all these little bags that you see, is something that you want to attract into your life. Okay, so when you bring your ekeko home with you, you start adding things to him. Usually on a Tuesday or on a Friday, 12 o'clock noon or 12 o'clock midnight, you add something that you want to attract into your life. I have seen ekekos bare, and I have seen them completely charged. I have seen them this small, and I have seen them around 12 inches to 2 feet tall. I've seen pretty big ekekos, but basically this is the general size of an ekeko. Ekeko should be placed by himself in a table by himself, near a doorway, and where people can see him, but no one should touch him. This one is not cargado, which is what I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to encargarlo and bless them, give them a little blessing. But this is what the ekeko looks like. Okay, this is one. This is the green one. Now we're going to get into a moment why the mouth is opened, and we're going to talk about that in a second. And I don't want to drop him. You never want to drop your ekeko. And this is the darker blue one. Okay. I'm going to show you what they look like. Usually when you get them in a botanica or in a flea market where there are a lot of Central and South Americans, and you're lucky you will get one, because once they come out, everyone wants an Ekeko. In Japan, they're one of the biggest sellers, outselling the Lucky Buddha and the Maneki Neko. Do you know that cat that does that with the hand? This is there's like back orders for Ekeko in Japan. But I'm surprised in the American cultures, he's not very well known. So I'm going to show you what he looks like when, what they all three look like when you first get the Ekeko. Okay, so now that you have either received your Ekeko, it is better to receive your Ekeko than to purchase your Ekeko. But some people say it's okay to purchase your Ekeko. The Ekeko must be consecrated, sorry about that, consecrated, blessed, fed for you. Each person does it a little bit different. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Here's a little charcoal, okay? And I have a candle right here. And of course, each person does it different, okay? Depending on some botanicas do not bless them. But I'm going to bless the Ekeko. So I'm going to ignite this charcoal. And I'm going to place it into my burning incense, and you see it's ignited right there. So I'm going to just carefully wait till it gets nice and hot and burn completely. And while I'm doing that, or the shaman does that, he's already starting the ceremony, he's already starting the prayers to the Ekeko. So I'm just going to slide that off carefully. Okay, get that off. And it's already in the burning, the censer. And each person uses different incenses and all that. I'm going to use Palo Santo. Here are some shaved Palo Santo. You can use Palo Santo, you can use copal. You want to use an incense that grows in South America or Central America, because Ekeko loves the incenses that grow in his native land. So I'm just going to place a little bit into the charcoal, and each Ekeko, as it is burning, each Ekeko, with my right hand, I'm going to take the Ekeko and I'm going to consecrate each of the Ekeko by passing it around the smoke and giving it a nice, good blessing, a nice, good, abundant, prayer, just a blessing. Some people say some words of blessings right here. So right here, the Ekeko is being consecrated. Any negative vibrations that anybody, like let's say someone may have touched the Ekeko before you, it's being removed away from the Ekeko. And you of course want that you want your Ekeko to be cleansed and removed, from anyone who may have touched the Ekeko for you. So all the Ekekos are going to be consecrated with the smoke. Well, the one, but I have three, so I'm going to consecrate each and every one of them within the smoke. Okay, and right here, you can say a blessing, a prayer for the person. You want to bless the Ekeko for the person who is going to receive el Ekekito or el Ekeko. Not all brujos, curanderos will also pass the Ekeko through the fire. Por el fuego, bautismo de fuego. So again, it is gone around the candle, all right, counterclockwise usually, okay? You can go clockwise or counterclockwise, but it's usually counterclockwise. And I'm going to do that with each of the Ekekos. I'm going to go around counterclockwise around this red candle. Some people do that, some people don't. Okay, you're giving it the energía de fuego. So you gave it air, okay? Now you're giving it fire. Okay, now I'm going to do that to the last Ekeko. Again, some people say prayers in this moment, some don't, it depends. And that is cleansing it, baptizing it, or consecrating it by fire. And the Ekeko is sprinkled with some form of holy water, some form of perfume. Most people use agua florida. So what you do is you call on the Ekeko by using the agua florida as a whistle. So you place your lower lip and you go, and then you take a little bit and you sprinkle it over the Ekeko. And again, I'm going to do that to each one of them. So, and then you're going to sprinkle a little bit over the Ekeko, and then the last one. Okay. And sprinkle a little bit of agua florida over the Ekeko. And lastly, not everyone does this, but lastly, the Ekekos must be fed somehow. And I'm going to use some rice. Rice is for fertility, for abundance. You got to make sure that the Ekeko is facing east as we're doing this. And you take rice and you just sprinkle rice upon each of the Ekeko. This represents abundance. You're feeding it, you're blessing it. And make sure all three get sprinkled with arroz, rice. Some people sprinkle flowers, some people, everyone does differently. I'm going to use rice. Okay, make sure that all the Ekekos are fed nicely with a rice for fertility, for abundance, for prosperity. This is what rice represents. So now I fed the Ekekos with un poquito de arroz, rice. Now that the Ekeko is consecrated, it's blessed, it's fed, it's passed through the four elements, some people also pray with a bell, and they pass it by the Ekekos, okay, using the right hand, and they pass a bell, and then meditate and pray. Some use bells, okay, others use some form of rattle. Then the Ekeko, the person is asked before to hold their hands like they were going to receive a baby or a child, a small little child. And then the person places the Ekeko within the hands like this. Okay? And there it is. That's how the Ekeko is blessed and consecrated. Una campanita. With some form of rattle. Not everyone does this. And prayers, and you know, the brujo, the shaman, the person who prepared the Ekeko for the person is at this moment praying and consecrating the Ekeko. Now the person is instructed how to take care of the Ekeko, how to encargarlo. Encargarlo is to place him with packages, which is I'm going to do, and then that will be the final part of the video because I'm sure this video is getting long. So here it is. They're pretty much consecrated, blessed, and now the last final part of the video. So once you receive your Ekeko or you bring your Ekeko home, first of all, I want to show you, here is el Ekeko. I prepared him and he's completely encargado. He is a walking amulet, talisman. And you see I completely stocked him up, okay? I'll show you the back. These are petitions and desires or something that the person who's working with the Ekeko, what they want. So right now he is el Ekeko peruano. Peruanos, he usually has this hat right here. If you want el Ekeko boliviano, you can place him a hat, a little hat on top of his head. and all of a sudden he's transformed into el Ekeko Boliviano. Okay, all these things are petitions that the person wants to attract within their lives. So I'm just going to show you what I placed. I placed a bag. Now there's a whole bunch. I placed a little bag of coins. Placed some coins to bring some money, prosperity, sandals for leisurely. I gave him some coffee. I don't know if you can see it, his coffee bag. He has to have his coffee bag. This guy's overstocked. I placed fruit for fruits of your labor, lucky green rice, which is right there to bring prosperity and abundance. Cornmeal for fertility and abundance. I placed in Japan, he's very popular, well known, well respected. As I said earlier, he has become one of the top sellers in Japan, higher than the Lucky Buddha and the Maneki Neko. So I placed a Japanese charm. I placed a lottery ticket. It is a bogus one. This is not a real one. More money. What else did I place on this Ekeko? I placed some jute money for the dead. I gave him a little, what else did I give him? I gave him a little pipe. There's a walking stick somewhere, and I think I dropped his walking stick. But I gave him a whistle. And in the whistle, there's a key, charm, and, there's the walking stick right here. This is the walking stick, okay? I don't know if you can see it right there. The whistle has a little key so he can open doorways. Remember, Ekeko is a duende, so they love to open doorways. There's a little llama charm, another blue bag with cowrie shells. It's got some dice for good luck. It's got some peonia seeds for protection. What else did there's just so much that I placed on him. I dropped his hat. Let's see, there's just so much that I placed a lucky lodestone on this Ekeko. I think I placed a lodestone and a St. John's, John the Conqueror root somewhere in here. But this is the Ekeko prepared, okay? And usually the person prepares, they prepare, they encargarlo themselves once a week. Whenever they want to make a petition, they add it to the Ekeko, or they place a slip under the Ekeko. To ask for something that they wish to attract within their homes. You bring your Ekeko home, you must hold them in your left hand closest to the heart area, and you must show them around the house. Let him get familiarized with the house, okay, until he finds a place where he's going to be placed or kept. Try to keep him away from altars with your saints or your spirits. Ekeko likes to be by himself, so keep him in a table by himself, and he has to face the east, okay? Always try to have your Ekeko facing the east. You want him a little bit lower than your head level, but go around the house, present him to the house, let him know that this is the new home where he's going to live, where he's going to reside. And a lot of people like to prepare a little, if you remember, I painted these, okay? So you want to keep your Ekeko on top of one of these, okay? This is so that it can collect the ashes, and I'm going to explain that to you in a second. And you can also give them a little coffee cup, which I will also describe in 1 second, okay? And you're going to place it in a table and make sure that it faces the rising sun, the east. You want your Ekeko to face the rising sun or the east, facing the east. Ekeko's days are Tuesdays and Fridays. This is the days when you go to Ekeko and you make a petition. If you should always go on a Tuesday or on a Friday. Traditionally, it was men would go on Tuesdays, women would go on Friday, but now it's just Tuesdays and Fridays, and it should be to attract would be 12 o'clock noon, and to remove would be 12 o'clock midnight. So Tuesdays and Fridays, 12 o'clock noon, 12 o'clock midnight. Now, traditionally, you see the little hole right there. This is where you place his tabaco, his cigarette. So usually you would light a cigarette with 3 matches, and you would pass the cigarette around the ekeko 3 times, and then you would place it into the mouth area. Okay, I'm gonna try to place it into this little mouth area. This is a divination. This is a form of divination, believe it or not. And if he smokes the cigarette completely, that means that you will get your petition. If he doesn't, then you're not going to get that which you requested. So I'm going to try to. He is so full that it's kind of hard for me to place that cigarette into him. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so I placed the cigarette into his mouth. It's not lit, but usually, like I said, you can smoke a cigarette with him. He loves to smoke. So if you do not smoke, if you don't like smoking, then you shouldn't have an ekeko in your house, because he loves to smoke. And he smokes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, remembering that when you light your cigarette, you will take 3 puffs yourself, and you will pass it around the ekeko and introduce the lit cigarette, and then you will place it into his mouth. The mouth, the open part of the mouth is a way for you to know if your petition is going to be granted or if it's not going to be granted. If he smokes the cigarette completely down, that means that you will receive your petition. He will make your wish come true. And if he doesn't smoke the cigarette completely, that means that your wish will not come true. So that opening area right there in the mouth, I can't even see because he's got so much stuff. I overcharged him. Right there, that is where you place the cigarette for ekeko, and you place it on Tuesdays or Fridays, remembering that this is also a form of divination. If he smokes it completely, that means your wish will come true, and if he does not smoke it completely, that means your wish will not come true. Every Tuesday or Friday, when you're working with your ekeko, you can give him something to drink. Tuesdays, tradition, you give him coffee, or actually at 12 o'clock noon, you give him coffee. And at midnight, if you're making the petition at midnight, you would give him rum or liquor, okay? Try not to overfeed the ekeko. One thing that I notice in the United States, there's a lot of people, they give too many excess foods to their spirits. Ekeko, you can give them 3 pieces of candy once a week, but once a year you give him the traditional foods that he enjoys, which is January 24th, and you can give him cornbread or the traditional foods that he likes. A lot of people like to give their spirits, their dead, every day or once a week. And traditionally in Latin cultures, we give our dead on the El Día de los Muertos, on the Day of the Dead, or we give a saint on the day of that saint. And in the United States, everyone's doing everything over excess, once a week. So remember, you can give ekeko 3 pieces of candy once a week. And you can get rid of those candies by throwing it at a crossroads. But you can feed your ekeko completely with his foods, cornbread, and things that he enjoys, January 24th, where you will place an altar before him. Your ekeko will get full very quickly with your petitions. Once you gave him a petition, the petition is completely his. You cannot remove. So you can get him a cofre. The cofre is like a jewelry box or something, where you can also place more petitions, and you will keep your ekeko either on top of the cofre. Everything that is offered to ekeko must be kept for ekeko. You cannot remove it, okay? Every time you make a petition, you will light him a cigarette, okay? And remembering Tuesdays or Fridays, 12 o'clock in the midday or 12 o'clock noon, okay? If he smokes it completely, your petition or your desire will come true. And if he does not smoke it completely, that means that you're not going to get your wish. You make a petition to ekeko and you light him a cigarette, you can also sprinkle him down with some form of perfume, some form of cologne. He likes earthy scents, okay? So you want to make sure that the scents are earthy. So I'm going to give you some that I recommend. You can use, I don't want to drop my ekeko, you can use 4711. He seems to enjoy 4711. But one of the colognes that I noticed that he enjoys very much is bay rum. This is bay rum right here. He loves it. It's very spicy. It's very earthy. So if you can get St. John's bay rum, you can spray him down once a week when you're making a petition, or as you're make sure that when you do spray him down, be careful with the lit cigarette, as it can ignite If you cannot get St. John's Bay rum, you can get Puerto Rico, which is a little bit expensive, but it smells good. If you can get a Puerto Rican Bay rum, alcoholado, and what you would do is you would mix your alcoholado with patchouli. He loves the scent of patchouli, so you can mix patchouli into your bay rum, and then what you would do is sprinkle him down with some of the bay rum, okay? And he enjoys that scent, okay? It keeps him cool, it keeps him fresh. Remember that Ekeko is working for you, so you gotta keep him nice and fresh and refreshed, you know? So try to do that once a week, especially if you're giving him a petition, and you should at least give him a cigarillo or cigarette once a week. Yeah. By Friday, he should be smoking at least one cigarette. Whether you make a petition or not, he should be smoking a cigarette. A warning or a word of advice to my female followers who may have an Ekeko. Ekeko, if you remembered, I said he is a Casanova, and he could be a jealous spirit. Oftentimes, Ekeko will fall in love with the woman who owns the Ekeko. So this is what a lot of people say. So he will become overjealous. If you're married, he will bring problems into the relationship, into the love, you know, the marriage home. And if you're single, he will separate or remove all suitors from your life. So there's a way that you can protect yourself if you don't want Ekeko to be over possessive of you and over jealous of you. One thing that was noticed is that when the Spanish brought African women to the Caribbean, into South and Central America, Ekeko paid attention. So Ekeko, being a Casanova, he had never seen, you know, these beautiful women. He fell in love with the African woman and the mulatas. So in order to protect your relationship or your marriage, you have to keep la negrita close by el Ekeko, okay? He will shower you with what you want. You know, every petition you ask him, he will give you those petitions, but he will fall in love with the negrita, and in that sense, not cause problems within a relationship, not cause problems within the marriage home, or scare suitors away, because Ekeko does scare suitors away. So keep a negrita around his size, on his left-hand side, close to him. They must be always together. And this will protect the love affair or relationships, or, you know, you don't want Ekeko to separate that. So keep una negrita close to el Ekeko. I'm going to show you what she looks like, and she should be around his size.
Señor de la buena suerte y la abundancia, tú que recorriste por más de 700 años el corazón de los hogares en el altiplano, hoy te invocamos para traer a nuestros hogares abundancia y bienes, y la constancia en nuestros trabajos, el éxito en nuestros logros. Sinceramente, le deseamos lo mejor suerte para nuestros amigos y el beneficio de todas nuestras familias. Te agradecemos y te ponemos estas pequeñas ofrendas en el nombre de Dios. Spirit of good luck, fortune, and abundance. You who for more than 700 years touched the hearts of the homes in the highlands, today I pray to you to bring to our homes abundance, good fortune. We ask for constant work and success in our achievements. We sincerely wish the best luck for our friends and the benefits of our whole family. We thank you and put these little offerings and petitions before your feet in the name of God. We thank you. Amen.
As I said in the beginning, Ekeko should be given. People do buy them. But now I want to give to my YouTube followers and my Facebook friends. So I'm doing a little contest. I am giving 3 Ekekos, okay? I'm giving them away, and this is a contest for my followers of my YouTube and both my Facebooks. I will not be accepting new requests for Facebook friends until this contest is over. I will send the Ekeko, 1 Ekeko per person, just 3. His little hat, if you want to place his little hat, okay? And I will also be sending the plate, okay? The plate and a little offering cup where you can give him his coffee or his rum. So this will be a contest for my Facebook friends, and both my Facebook friends and my YouTube followers, as an appreciation for following me all these years. There will be 10 questions that I will be asked, and then I will be drawing a name, 3 winners from the hat when the contest is over, within like 2 weeks or so. So if you want to participate, hopefully you are a friend of my my Facebook, send me a message. I will not be accepting new friends. This is for people who are already part of my YouTube and are friends of mine on Facebook. I will send me a message through Facebook, and I will send you the 10 questions. You must answer all the 10 questions correctly. They have to do with my channel, and hopefully I made it easy enough. And then I will draw a name from the hat. Within 2 weeks, I will do a video about that, or when the contest is over. So if you want to participate, hopefully you're part of my both YouTube and Facebook. And if you want to participate, send me a message and say, listen, I want to participate, and I will send you the 10 questions. Anyways, this is Salsista Brujo Luis. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the video on El Ekeko. He is a walking talisman, a walking charm. He is blessed, purified. He is completely full with all his offerings that that a person wants. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment down below, and please subscribe, and please hit that like button. If you have not subscribed, subscribe, and please hit that like button. I appreciate it. It motivates me to do more videos. This is Salsista Brujo Luis. Santo Sanse.